Hey guys, Jason Timothy here, Ableton Live coach and trainer. And today I wanted to get into a pretty massive problem that music producers face, regardless of what DAW they use or what have you. And this is especially problematic for people that are kind of in the beginner and intermediate stages. And it kind of can happen to anyone. And this is kind of my workaround to get through it. And that is music production overwhelm and fatigue. You've probably all been there where you're sitting down trying to, you're staring at like an empty slate on your program of preference. I personally use Ableton. And you're staring at a blank screen, and it seems that no matter what you do, you just don't feel accomplished at all. And at the end of the session, you just feel burnout before you probably should. There's plenty of reasons for this. I'm not going to get into the whole idea of you've been partying too much or you haven't had enough sleep or whatever that is, right? You should probably be taking decent care of yourself. But I think the problem is that most people are not focusing on the tasks that they are accomplishing. They're focused on what hasn't been accomplished, which is your finished song, right? So even when you're getting things one step closer, you're just not feeling that energetic boost. So my recommendation is to, when you come down for a session, when you sit down at your computer in your session, the few things that I would recommend you do. So first step is to just kind of create your music goal for a certain allotted time that you're giving yourself. I'd say about an hour is appropriate. If you don't have that time, a half hour, and try to figure out what you think you might be able to accomplish in that amount of time. What you're probably going to find is that what you think you can accomplish in that amount of time will usually take longer, sometimes twice as long, unless you've done this enough to where you really know yourself, right? But knowing what you want to accomplish is the first step in getting motivated about this. You've kind of set yourself a little bit of a goal, right? So from there, you've got your kind of big goal of what you want to accomplish in the next hour or whatever. So the second part of this is to break down that one goal into at least 5 micro tasks, things that can be accomplished pretty quickly. So all the little steps that it'll take to get to the big result, if you will. So let me give you an example. Let's say our task at hand is that we want to build our 8-bar loop, get an 8-bar groove going, right? So if we just set ourselves with that goal, if we don't reach the end of that goal, we're not going to necessarily feel very accomplished, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to break this down into micro goals or micro tasks, if you will. So an example of that would be, okay, step 1, find a song that inspires your idea, inspires the kind of groove that you want to make. That's just a simple task. Find your inspiration. Part 2 is break down the sounds that are needed to get your drums in place, because you need to find the right sounds for your drums. You need to find the right sound or sounds for your bass, right? And write those things down so you know what elements you need. If you want to give each sound a little description, that is powerful as well, because if you can describe each of the sounds that you're looking for, it'll be easier for you to find those sounds. And just an extra note is sometimes finding a sound can be difficult if you're just looking for one sound. So take like a kick drum, for example. It might take more than one layer. You might say, well, the bottom end sounds like this and the top end sounds like this. If you find 2 sounds where one sound kind of takes care of the bottom end part, but isn't really the right sound, but then you find the top end part that gives you more of like the meat of the sound, you layer those together and it'll be usually easier for you to get that sound that you're looking for. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. So once you've written those down, your next step is to collect those drum sounds, create a kit or find the samples or figure out what you need to do to get those sounds designed for you. So that's your third step. Step 4 would be find the bass sound. You could go through synth presets and find something close and then kind of tweak it to where you're pretty close to what you're going for, right? I wouldn't try to copy a sound necessarily, but you want to get close enough to where you feel, okay, that's good, because you can always fine tune it later. From there, now you've got all your sounds. Now you're going to construct your groove, whether you're using samples or MIDI or audio or loops or anything, right? Go ahead and construct that into, your separate tracks and everything. Step 6 would be like EQing and processing each sound. So you're kind of dialing things in, getting rid of the mud, the things that aren't necessary, and just doing your basic processing. If you need a reverb, if you need to compress something, this is where you kind of do that. And then step 7 would be just kind of dialing in your mix, dialing in the levels and everything. So with those 7 micro tasks, you can accomplish quite a bit, and you're actually seeing every little step that you're accomplishing. So even if you only get 3 out of the 7 done or 4 out of the 7 done, you're not going to feel so bad about it, because you're going to actually see what you did accomplish. So every time you accomplish something, this is why it's really good to kind of write something down with pen and paper, is you cross it off the list. So that way, when you're done with your session, you've actually seen what you've crossed off your list. And you also see what your next tasks are going to be for your next session, right? So this is a really great way, in crossing things off a list is known to give you that kind of dopamine fix that you need, that inspires your next action, keeps you inspired, keeps your energy up. And it replaces your focus on how far you have to go to how far you've come. So that is my tip for today, is set yourself up some micro tasks, set yourself a timer, and see how quickly you can tackle those. And if you don't get all those tasks done, at the end of your session, be proud of yourself for the things that you were able to cross off the list. And now you know what you have to do in your next session. So I hope that helps you guys, and I'll speak to you guys real soon. Have a fantastic one. Bye. Hey guys, I just wanted to remind you that if you dig this channel, if you like this content, make sure to subscribe, share it with a friend. That always really helps me. If you want to support me and yourself, you can also pick up my best-selling book, The Mental Game of Electronic Music Production. It's a bestseller on Amazon. You can just type in music production, and it's usually like the 5th or 6th book that comes up. My name's Jason Timothy, so you'll find it there. You can read the reviews. If you would like some more direct help, and you think that I might be a person that can help you do that, we can certainly have a one-on-one conversation. So what I recommend you do is go to my website, musicsoftwaretraining.com/application. Fill that thing out. Let me know kind of what you're all about, and I'll be in contact with you usually within 48 hours, and we'll set up a time to talk. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic one, and speak soon.